am I the only one who feels really good for Charles Oliveira, but bad for Tony Ferguson at the same time? If you didn't know, these two are fighting this weekend at UFC 256, and saving the card in the process, to be honest. So, Charles Oliveira definitely deserves a high-ranked opponent with his 7-fight win streak. He deserves a big fight with so many dominant performances that he has had so far. And, Tony Ferguson just had the war with Gaethje by, saving that card in the crazy times that we're still in right now. But, so pretty sure that everyone agrees that he deserves some respect, and, an opponent and a well-known opponent would be nice. But turns out everybody either already had a dancing partner or didn't want to take the fight, including the one and only Michael Chandler, who I'm not sure whether he didn't want to fight Tony Ferguson or was it more from the UFC side, but either way, that fight didn't happen, and now we got this one, which is still awesome, don't get me wrong. As I said, it's definitely going to be competitive, and I know that people tend to watch 1 minute or so of my videos, so if you're one of those people, then lucky for you, I'm going to tell you my prediction right now, and I do have Charles Oliveira winning, and probably by decision. So, obviously Charles Oliveira has been on a crazy streak, he has the momentum on his side, and, all of his assets have improved, all of his capabilities, his ground game, his feet work, his striking, everything is top notch, and he hasn't taken much damage in the process, and you obviously can't say the same thing about Tony Ferguson. He took a ton of damage in the Gaethje fight. Surprisingly, he didn't get knocked down once, even though it was stopped, not a single knockdown was scored. The only knockdown that was scored was actually Tony Ferguson knocking down Justin Gaethje, which was, a crazy uppercut, I think, at the end of round 3. But that was an awesome fight, and kudos to Tony for taking that fight and taking this fight as well, and not saying like, oh no, I deserve, a more Conor McGregor type of an opponent. So yeah, I just don't see this fight not being extremely entertaining, and with both guys striking and grappling being so scrappy and interesting for the fans. Unfortunately, there won't be anyone in the audience, at least not any fans, so I'm still sure that we're going to see an extremely exciting fight, but maybe not as exciting as those two fights usually are. And either way, I'm pumped. Probably so are you. And who do you think is going to win? The thing about Tony Ferguson is that if I hadn't seen his last fight against Gaethje, I would probably pick him. And, I just don't know whether his chin perhaps deteriorated to some extent after that fight, even though he wasn't knocked down. But, 9 out of 10 guys would have been KO'd by Gaethje with his crazy power. So perhaps it's not necessarily his chin, maybe his mentality could be broken to some extent after that fight. Who knows? He never got this dominated against any other opponent except for Gaethje. Now, the thing with Oliveira's power, it's definitely not as significant as Gaethje's. He's a smaller lightweight. He's more of a sniper kind of fighter, not really a power fighter, you know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily see him knocking out Tony Ferguson. I don't see this. That's why I do have him winning by decision. Although, if either one of these fighters wants to take this to the ground, then who knows what's going to happen. Both of them have incredible grappling skills. As I said, they're really scrappy, and you can see some kind of crazy submissions. So, anything can happen. And as the title suggests, I do think that Charles Oliveira is the younger version of Tony Ferguson, except the weirdness. He's been improving a ton throughout his fights. Both of them have had really dominant performances, and their skill sets are quite similar. Even though I do think that Tony's a bit more scrappy, and his weirdness, maybe that's going to be an advantage for him. Maybe once they do get on the ground, if either fighter decides to take the fight there, maybe Tony is going to look for some crazy submissions that you'd never think of, with Eddie Bravo in his corner and whatnot. Both of them have really good leg lock games, so maybe we're going to see some crazy jiu-jitsu match that, 90% of the fans won't really even understand what's happening. So I'm pumped for that fight, and I'm glad that UFC 256 card has one more exciting fight, because I don't think that the flyweight title fight would be enough to carry the whole event. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This was my official prediction, and I'll see you after the fight. Peace.